kind of hot. So weird. Hey everyone, what's up? Happy New Year. So I've had my share of side hustles during grad school and undergrad. Today we'll be talking about the best side hustles for grad school, especially if you're in a school psychology program. When you're in school, you need these to be flexible. So it really depends on what kind of program you're in. Some people are in part-time programs, some people are in full-time programs where the classes are, during the day, and then some people only have night classes. So I try to pick jobs that are pretty flexible. Let's get started. The first job that I have for you guys is an ABA therapist, or like an in-home mental health counselor. And so I kind of stumbled upon this right after graduating college, but I've seen people as young as like high schoolers or college students come in and help with behavior therapy. And so this is a great field if you are in a school psych program, or if you have ever been interested in psychology, or if you're a psychology student, or if you're interested in counseling. The pay ranges, it really depends on what you're looking at, but from the jobs that I've had in the past, it was like a range of like $18 to $25 an hour. It's really not that bad considering that you don't really need too much experience. They'll kind of train you on the job. Of course, it's the best if you do have the right training. A lot of places will prefer if you have your RBT, Registered Behavior Technician, yes. If you have your RBT, they will prefer that. And of course, if you're like a BCBA or a BCABA, they would love to have you, and they pay a lot for them. Those are like your supervisor positions. But just as a therapist level, you still get paid pretty decently. A pro is that you'll have flexible hours. A lot of these children for ABA therapy, they go to school and then they typically need therapy hours in the afternoon or evening. And so if you have classes during the day, you can go in the evening. If you have younger children, maybe they just stay home, so you can go during the day. It's really flexible, and you can kind of request certain clients depending on your hours. Another positive about this job is that it gives you really, really good experience with children or people with mental health problems, or people that you may be dealing with in the future if you are going to be a school psychologist. And I think ABA therapy, especially, you work with a lot of kids with autism, maybe some ADHD. I've had some children with speech issues or schizophrenia, and so you really get to see a wide array of children, and it's really, really good experience. And like at the end of the day, you're helping these families and these children and these people. So it is also really, really rewarding. So negative side to these jobs is that you are dealing with these challenging or difficult behaviors, and then maybe put into those challenging situations as well. So I think there's a really, really big learning curve, and then you also get to learn how to deal with these families or work with these families, how to train parents, how to talk to parents, how to be professional, all of that. You learn so much, but I'm not gonna say it's easy. I had some really, really tough cases, and that's why self-care is so important, especially in these roles where there's a lot of demands. Second job is substitute teaching. I actually have some friends in my cohort who are currently doing this, in their free time. And when I asked a lot of school psychologists that are in practice right now, what they did in grad school, a lot of them said substitute teaching. And I think a big reason for this is that, the pay is not bad. In Fairfax County, which is one of our surrounding counties, they pay around $15 an hour, more or less, depending on, if it's like a long-term sub position, or if you're like a retired teacher, they pay you more. And then in different states and counties, they might pay less or more depending on your degree. You should go and check that out. But you're also put in a school environment, and so that's a really big pro, because you're working in the classroom with students. You kind of learn to empathize for teachers, and you can also make connections with the people in your school. And so you get to maybe meet your school psychologist at that school, or with other administrators and teachers, and maybe that's going to be a school that you intern or work at in the future. And so building those really important relationships and connections, that's going to be helpful for you and your career. All right, number 3, babysitting, nannying, or tutoring. So this is more like freelance jobs. You kind of have to go and find your clients, whether you use care.com or Facebook or word of mouth. You kind of have to find your own clients. So I think that is like a difficult side to these jobs. But other than that, like, you really have like flexible hours. You get to work with kids. Maybe, you know, if it's like a babysitting job and it's late at night, you put the kids to sleep, you can do your homework, do some reading at night, and it's like a big pay range because it is like freelance, and it depends on how comfortable you are in those situations. Like if you are CPR certified, you might like bump up your rate. But for babysitting, I've seen anywhere from like $10 to $20 an hour, and that also depends on how long your hours are. And then for tutoring, like I've charged as much as like $35, $40 an hour for like middle school tutoring, so you could make it lucrative. Number 4, I'm so awkward. Right, number 4 is to work at a preschool or a daycare or like an after school or like before school program. So plus side to this is that it is like a structured experience with kids. You get to work with the children, and then it's not going to be as like strict or structured as being in a public school, but you have some guidance and you have coworkers and a boss, and I still think it gives you really valuable experience working in this kind of environment. I think the only negative side to this job is that it maybe not as lucrative, but also there are limited hours, because typically like I've seen daycares close at like 5 or 6, like preschool is usually closed then. Like it's usually right after people get off work and they can pick up their kids. My after school program, we close at 7:30. Well, we had the parents come by 7 and then we close at 7:30, which was sort of later than most places. So if you can find a place that works with your schedule, that would be great. I also worked at a before care program before, where the hours were from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and that really worked with my schedule at the time. It was just really freaking hard for me to wake up like at 5:30 in the morning every single day because I work from Monday to Friday. So if you can do that, if it works for your schedule, go for it. All right, number 5 is to work retail or in a restaurant as, you know, a waitress or a bartender. And I can't really tell you the pay for that because it really depends on where you're working. Retail, I think it's like anywhere from minimum wage to maybe $15 an hour. Some people said they worked at Target or like Walgreens or a clothing store. And I think some people enjoy kind of being separated from grad school or like the university or working with kids because it gives them a break, right? Like if you're always in the school setting, always working with kids, always like doing something related to school psychology, you could burn out. Maybe you need a change of pace. So this is a great place to do it. For working at a restaurant, I mean, depending on where you work, this could be a really good money maker for you and could be the best side hustle. It's just, there's a lot of pros and cons, right? I worked as a waitress at a seafood restaurant, and on a good night I made around $300 after tip out, and so I took home like $300 in cash. And then on a bad night, maybe I made like $60 to $80, and it really wasn't worth me standing around for 9-10 hours working. So it could be pretty exhausting, but I honestly think if you can fit it in your schedule, everyone really needs to try working in the restaurant industry or retail at least once in their life. You just learn a lot of things about the world and things about yourself when you're in these settings, and so I think it gives you good life lessons. And yeah, all right guys, thanks so much for watching. So these are some of the best side hustles for grad students in school psychology programs. I hope this was kind of helpful for you. I'm also planning to go to NASP in February this year, so if you're planning to go, let me know. I would love to meet up with you guys or like grab food or grab a drink and say hi. That would be so cool. So let me know if you're going to NASP, which is a convention, is it a convention? It's like a conference or like a convention for the National Association of School Psychologists. And so it's like an annual meeting where they do a lot of different like sessions. They'll have a keynote speaker. You'll get to go to all these workshops, build connections, really cool experience. And as a grad student, there's a discount, so take advantage of that. And this year it'll be in Baltimore, Maryland, so that's really not that far from where I am. Really thankful for that because last year we had to all take a plane and then get like a rental car, all of that stuff. It should be a great time. Hope to see you guys there. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Ooh, also side note, I am still selling my pins. I have a limited supply, so make sure to check them out. I'll leave the link down below, and it'll be really cool if you guys can, you know, purchase one, wear it, tag me on Instagram. Yeah, support me. Thanks, bye. Also, shout out to one of my friends in my cohort for building this, or for making this pull-up. Isn't it so cute? It's like stitched on. Go Mason.